in order to do business with you. They break open your house one thing, they rape your mother, they rape your father, they rape your brother, they rape your sister, they rape your auntie, they rape your auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm, and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. They come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on side. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us, viewers. Remember, we are live on Synergy Network Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. with a rerun next day from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Remember that Trinidad and Tobago. We are also on the social media platform, viewers, on Facebook and YouTube. YouTube, it's TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you would know when we go live. Also on YouTube, or on Facebook, search Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Like, share, and the rest of the world will get to know about the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. So viewers, remember that. Remember to share our live stream. Remember, Real Talk Credit Union is also inviting you to open accounts for you and your kids. We offer the 4% on fixed deposits. Remember that also at Real Talk. So viewers, we are located at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas. That is our phone numbers on screen there. 339-1670, 242-7690, 238-6716, and 267-7325. Remember that, viewers, contact the office from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. to 12 noon. Remember that. We encourage you to start saving for you and your kids. So as we start off our program tonight, would you agree in building a safe room in your home when your home is supposed to be a safe haven for you, the citizen who spent decades building homes? Law-abiding citizens are now being advised to build a safe room inside their home so that they can hide in the event of a home invasion. A safe room is also known as a panic room. It's installed in a private residence or business to provide a safe shelter or hiding place for the inhabitants in the event of a home invasion, tornado, or other threats. The advice to install safe rooms came from retired Senior Superintendent Kenny McIntyre. Now, the meeting was called by the Couva South MP Rudy Indar Singh, following a spate of recent robberies in home invasion. McIntyre advised citizens to arm themselves. All hear that? You all heard that? Good. He said, within your household, secure a little room into which you can retreat as a place of safety in the event of home invasion. Inside, you must have water, a flashlight, and a cell phone, which will buy some time and give you a certain level of safety, the former cop said. McIntyre also advised residents to have emergency numbers on speed dial, such as number for the police, as well as to consider investing in guard dogs and creating neighborhood watch group. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are advised by former police officer, a former superintendent. 1.2 million people in Trinidad and Tobago, or 1.4 as we often say. We spent decades in building our 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom, whether it be board house, whether it be concrete house, whether it be a flat house or a upstairs and downstairs house. We are advised now, because of the rampant spate of home invasion, we are advised to build a safe room. So look at this. Our homes are fenced. We have burglar proof. Now we are advised to build a safe room into our homes. It's a tropical country. How do you feel building a safe room into your home when your home is supposed to be a safe haven for you and your family? So I want to hear from you tonight. Mash Up Monday. A simple 3-bedroom house or a simple 2-bedroom house, where in that house, when you live in a 12 by 12 room or a 12 by 15 room, which the common citizen have, how are you going to build a safe room in a room that is already 12 by 12 or 15 by 15? 2386716. I want to hear from you tonight, because this, I understand the former superintendent has his job to do, but also understand your home is supposed to be a safe home. I am not going to build no safe room in my house. I am not going to. Why am I saying this? Some would say I am going against the superintendent. No, I am not going to go against him. He has his advice. I have mine. We don't have tornadoes in Trinidad. We don't. We have dry season. We have rainy season. So because of the spate of increased home invasion, we have to build safe room. Aren't your home supposed to be a safe haven for you and your family? You have invested in a fence around your house. You have invested in security cameras. You have invested in guard dogs. The only thing we did not get approval for is firearm in our homes. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead, my friend.
As usual.
Thank you.
Lots of credit and praises to you for your program and what you are doing. Very sad, you know, Mr. Saeed.
Very.
It shows nobody wants to deal with crime, you know. They're telling you to put up room with steel doors and all of this kind of thing. So what about dealing with crime? Let me forget crime. Nobody's going to deal with crime then. No. I want to give a politician credit. Hines. Never in the history of this country, you had a politician spoke the truth. Hines spoke the truth, and he said the judiciary, the parliamentarians, the defense force, the police, customs, every agency in this country is connected to the criminal element. He spoke the truth, and I give him credit for that. But what he should have also told the citizen of this country is that the international community, the United States authorities and British authorities, is saying high office holders in this beautiful country of ours and state officials are funding and supporting criminal activities.
Well said.
Oh, you failed to say that, boy? So you do the honorable thing now and instruct her to issue FUL to every applicant that satisfies the requirement to have an FUL. And the boss, dictator, said, we are blessed to have the freedom of expression as enshrined in our Constitution. So how when people criticize, when they are wrong, certain groups in society criticize, you condemning them and saying they're inciting racial tension. You're a madman. We have some really crazy people running this country, you know. Mr. Saeed, you keep up the great work and continue being fearless, you know. I talked to several people over the weekend and they see you as a fearless man and the only hope to fix problems in this country, you know, Mr. Saeed. You keep up the great work, man. God bless you and your program.
Thank you, my friend. You know, if it's one thing I just always say, you can't buy me out, you know. You can't. You can't buy me out. That is always say that. And the reason why I don't run ads is because don't tell me what to say on my program. I am not going to apologize for bashing somebody. I am not going to apologize for highlighting issues. I am not. I am a businessman, I am a father, and I am a citizen of this country, which I call Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago used to be a paradise. Now we have parasites in our communities. Parasites. The paradise left Trinidad. My home is supposed to be a safe place for me and my family. Don't come to tell me I now have to build a safe room. A former superintendent is saying that. Instead of saying build a safe room, and you know what you use? You use tornado. You use tornado. Why use tornado? Why am I going to build a safe room because of home invasion? No. Don't play a comment. Now, look at this. Look at this. I already built a house. 12 by 15, 15 by 15, 10 by 12. There is no space for the average and common individual who has a house. There is no space. What are you going to do? Build iron. You already have burglar proof. We already have our windows burglar proof. Iron. Our front door is iron. We have to lock our front door when we are at home. Call a good night.
Good night, Honorable Saeed. This is the imitation vaccine Viagra. Two things. I've seen Young say they spent 3.4 million.
Hey, hold it up. I commented that story just now. Don't bust the ass yet.
All right. Okay, well, I could talk about the people who got sick. All right, look at them, my boy. A lot of them are real PNMites. And a lot of them is the fence around the real vaccine brigade runs. One is I was going to say thing here, but one of them is the personal lawyer, the other one defended them here. But I ain't saying nothing. It's all well and good to give. But you know what I want to know? When they get silk, and if they bring the noble profession into disrepute, what corrective action and preventive action can we do or can LAT do to take back that robe, that silk from them? Because you know, it have a AG, a former PNM AG, was castigated in the Privy Council. JJ is the name, you know, and he is left unscathed according to Bande, and he's still practicing and getting a set of brief. The other thing I want to know, it have one of them who is an independent PNM senator who know all the judges. He bring the Senate into dispute, he bring the President into dispute, and they still give him a SIP. So, and all of them, because of the SIP, they're getting more briefs there. All of them is a eater food lawyers. So if it's 1.something billion, we pay them in fees, it might go up to 2 billion in the next 2 or 3 years. That's why I'm saying, because some of them don't deserve it, babe, or if we choose them on meritocracy, you will see that they don't deserve it. I'm going to have a nice night.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, Dr. Gopi Singh called for the lifting of all COVID-19 regulation to be dismissed after this break.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690, or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtalk Credit Union information stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtalk Group of Companies building at number 14 Carney Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also stay connected with us via Facebook. Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
So welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. The United National Congress former MP and Minister Dr. Tim Gopi Singh is calling on the government to lift all COVID-19 emergency declarations. This following the move by World Health Organization to no longer classify the coronavirus pandemic as a global public health emergency of international concerns of tremendous global, regional and local significance. Now, in a release, Dr. Gopi Singh stated that in the wake of the significant development, he advised the government and Ministry of Health to immediately lift the existing emergency public health declaration that has been in place since Trinidad and Tobago in 2020. According to the legal notice, number 189, the 19th of September 2022, a person can be fined a sum of $5,000 or face 3 years in jail for failure to wear a face mask in specified areas. Dr. Gopi Singh added that this is now unnecessary given that WHO latest declaration as the United States is set to similar lift its own national emergency declaration re-COVID-19 on 11th of May 2023. So Trinidad and Tobago, that is some good points by Tim Gopi Singh. There are restrictions in place that in certain areas you have to wear your mask. Now that WHO has declared coronavirus is not a public health issue anymore. He said it is done, it is finished. So now, with WHO saying that, Terence Singh, the Minister of Health, supposed to keep an emergency press conference. But where is Singh? We're not hearing from him. So I want to thank Gopi Singh, Tim Gopi Singh, for actually keeping the UNC alive concerning health. So this is a reminder now that regulations like in banks or certain financial institutions or maybe hospitals and clinics, there is no longer COVID-19. So I want to hear what the Singh have to say now concerning the piece of legislation that they brought forward where you have to wear your mask in specified areas, otherwise it's $5,000 or 3 days in jail. 3 days in jail or $5,000. Call a good night. Hello?
Good night, good night.
Go right ahead, you're live, my friend.
Yes, you know, with this crime situation, the Prime Minister in Barbados playing golf and all these things.
Correct, yes.
You know, if it is that, you know, this government, this has to solve at a government level. I think it is my honest and, you know, view. Should this government change their ways, you know, in discriminating, the way they operate, it is possible that, you know, this whole crime situation could turn around. And another solution, sir, if the government is not willing to entertain Gary Griffith, my humble suggestion is that, you know, the opposition leader, you know, could you know, ramage with Gary Griffith. And because it is the opposition constituencies that are feeling the brunt of this criminal activity, why can't they, you know, come together, you know, work along with Gary Griffith in the opposition area? So, you know, they could get some relief, because as you see it, the PNM constituency is partying all the time. The other day they had Pet in Toko. The other day they had Bob Borrow. Look at the kind of people who is there and celebrating, sir. Look at the kind of people who is there and celebrating. So my call tonight, let Gary Griffith and Kamla Prasad Bisesa meet and formulate strategies to help the opposition constituency. Because this government does not want, they are not willing to do anything, sir. And you know, let them be aided by Johnny Abraham. You will see how much relief they will get. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So here it is now, with WHO declaring COVID-19 is not a public health issue. Although the World Health Organization has declared an end to COVID-19 as a public health emergency of international concerns, Minister of Health Terence Dayal Singh have stated that there will be no changes at this time to TNT's COVID-19 response plan in Trinidad and Tobago. Speaking at a media conference, WHO General Dr. Tedros said the reclassification does not mean that the virus threat has disappeared. Listen to this.
For the past year, the Emergency Committee and WHO have been analyzing the data carefully and considering when the time would be right to lower the level of alarm. Yesterday, the Emergency Committee met for the 15th time and recommended to me that I declare an end to the public health emergency of international concern. I have accepted that advice. It's therefore with great hope that I declare COVID-19 over as a global health emergency. However, that does not mean COVID-19 is over as a global health threat. This virus is here to stay. It's still killing, and it's still changing. The risk remains of new variants emerging that cause new surges in cases and deaths. The worst thing any country could do now is to use this news as a reason to let down its guard, to dismantle the systems it has built, or to send the message to its people that COVID-19 is nothing to worry about.
So if there is nothing to worry about, here Dayal Singh. However, Dayal Singh stated that TNT has long been on that transitional path. As such, he said, no changes to the approach could be expected in the near future. Listen to this.
We are into about a year of our transitioning. Other countries have transitions later, but that's fine. Every country has their own epidemiological profile. We are not suggesting any radical changes at this point in time. All the radical measures have been dropped since 2022.
Now, viewers, according to Dayal Singh, this means quarantine and isolation protocols will still be in effect at the parallel health care system, and the hybrid healthcare system will continue. The decision comes almost a week before the United States is set to end its emergency response to the pandemic on May 11th. The minister also added that while the pandemic phase on a global level is over, the virus is still circulating, and he is still appealing to individuals and families, especially those in the vulnerable groups, to get vaccinated. He noted that the vaccine stock expires in June 2023, so persons still have about 2 months.
The virus is still circulating, and we are still appealing to individuals and families, especially those in the vulnerable groups, the elderly, the pregnant, the unvaccinated, those with comorbidities, to continue to keep your guard up. If you are not vaccinated, get vaccinated. Our stocks expire in June 2023.
So viewers, there you have it. That is what he said. But I don't know. To be honest with you, I really don't know about this minister, you know. Serious. Moving along, Finance Minister Colin Mimbut is dismissing claims from the opposition that additional money allocation to the office of the president for medical expense was related to a recent injury President Christine Kangaloo suffered. He made his comments on Friday before the Standing Finance Committee of the House of Representatives approved a supplementation of $10 million, $797 to the funding allocation in 2022-2023 budget for the office of the president. Mimbut rejected a claim by Princestown MP Barry Padarat that an allocation of $100,000 and something to do with an injury Kangaloo suffered while exercising on April 6th. He said, there is now another former president, and it is a requirement to take care of the former president and the new president for life. Listen to this interesting facts.
It should be known to the more experienced members of the House that a decision was taken by successive governments, or decisions plural, that all former presidents, and as an aside, all former prime ministers, are entitled to medical care for life. And therefore, there is now another former president, and therefore, there is now a requirement to take care of the new former president and the new president, hence the increase.
So Trinidad and Tobago, Mimbut stated that $350,000 was for electricity and $200,000 for phone expense, as Christine and her husband are expected to live at the president's house in St. Anne's. All I hear that? All I hear that? Open all your eyes, open all your ears. He added that $2.2 million has been allocated to enter into an agreement with the Urban Development Corporation of TNT for continued maintenance of the president's house. Hey, I'll listen to this after we go talk.
If you look at the heritage buildings around the Savannah in particular, you have Stallmeyer's Castle, you have Mill Fleur, you have the Whitehall, and so on. All of these buildings need to be maintained as a routine matter, and this sum is for the facility management agreement with UDCOT.
With UDCOT?
Yes, with UDCOT.
So UDCOT has a facility management agreement for the president's house.
This is to enter into. This is a future facility management agreement.
Oh, so there is to be a facility management contract of which UDCOT will enter with the president's house, and you need $2.2 million between this date and September 2023.
That is the information I have.
That's the explanation you have.
That's the information I have.
All I hear that? So those of you who cannot get your back pay, and those of you who cannot get your, how do you call it, NIS, and those of you who public assistance grants have been cut. It has begun to cut. Or let's see where the money going. Emmett stated that 350,000 was for electricity. Keep in mind, the government already owes T&Tech. How much? Close to $1 billion. Who paying for that? The citizens now have to endure an increase in electricity. Trinidad and Tobago, are we a foolish nation? Are we so foolish that we can't understand? Just imagine your tax-paying dollars have to pay the electricity for the president house. It has stopped there. $200,000 for a phone expense. Does this go down to Christine's husband and children also? Because it stated, it went something like this. $350,000 was for electricity and $200,000 for phone expense, as Christine and her husband are expected to live at the president's house. So here I tell you earlier. There is something they call a plan. It's a corporation plan, I believe is the word. I have company phones and I pay $300 or $400 for a plan. What does it have on it? Unlimited calls. Find out what's the name of the plan there? Cooperative? Corporation plan. Corporate. Trinidad and Tobago. How the hell $200,000 for phone expense when there is corporate plan? For $350 or $400 per month. A month is 30 days. A month is not 352 days, it is 30 days. So what I want to know is how many persons are included in this $200,000 phone bill. I'll come talk to me, talk to Ember, talk to Trinidad and Tobago. I have 5 phones. 1, 2, no, I made a mistake. I have 3 phones that executives of Realtalk Group of Company has. These 3 people are important people in my company. And there's corporate phones. How the hell are you paying a bill for $200,000? How many people, Mr. Imbert, how many people is $200,000 going to cover? Come out and tell the people something. I pay between $350 to $400 to Digicel. On my phone, you know what I got? I got unlimited data and I got unlimited calls. For let's just say close to $400 TT, not US, you know, TT dollars. So how the mother in hell now, this $200,000 come off for phone expense? Allah come back Trinidad and Tobago, somebody say something. We cannot be that dotish. We cannot be that foolish for those of you who have companies and those of you who have corporate phone, you will understand. Let's talk now. Saieed, oh, you're bashing. No, dum-dum. I am not bashing. I am opening your eyes and your ears. Forgive me for using the word dum-dum. Forgive me. How the mother in health $200,000 expense? $200,000 every 30 days. That's 2-point-something million. Correct? 30 days. At 200,000. 12 months by 200,000. At 2.4? $12,000. $200,000. And you're paying a bill every 30 days. So, Embert, you need to come out and clarify something for Trinidad and Tobago. $200,000 a month. 10 months at $200,000, 10 to 20, like $2 million right there. So we spending $2 million on phone bill for the president. What? But wait now, she better than Miss Data? She better than Miss Data? Because Miss Data is Shanfa Kujo, I believe. She used her internet bill and she didn't even know and use a minister. Where you from? From the year they call 1010? In the Stone Age and them? $2 million in 10 months? Embert, you need to come out and clarify something for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And on top of that now, you want to mind her until she dead? After serving 3 to 5 years in office, you want to mind them for the rest of their life? That's madness. That is total madness. People getting a pension. They can't get a pension. NIS got them, no NIS. NIS is problem to get grants. Disability people lost in their grant. You can't get a gratuity. People complaining of can't get their back pay. And you go tell me $200,000, or let's just say $2 million in 10 months. For what? Phone bill? Saieed, all mustn't say nothing, boy. All going against the president of all our country. Really? What the hell the president did? What the former one did? Oh, you know what the former one did? She said, oh, she ran out of time to do much more good in Trinidad and Tobago. You could say you almost went into hibernation, nobody could nearly see you. Huh? And then in both now want to say, oh, we have to take care of the former one, and then we got a new former one. What the hell are they really talking about? He added $2 million. $2 million to somebody's house. The president's house, $2.2 million to go into a contract. Good? How much video you done run there? Second video you run? Embert also noted that since Weeks did not live at the president's house, there was a skittle staff there to tend to her needs. However, now that will be occupied to the new staff. New staff will be hired to cater to the needs of Kangaloo and her husband. Listen to this.
When I look at what was circulated to members, it does say to facilitate the recruitment of persons. But the detailed notes I have here, given to me by the representative from the Office of the President, is that 0200126, the general head is expenses of the President's household. And this will include expenses for national awards, state dinners, and so on. And I'm also advised, which now deals directly with the issue raised, that the previous president, as I said before, did not occupy what is called the Great House, the large building, and as such a skeletal staff was maintained during the last 5 years. The new president and her spouse will be residing at President's house, and therefore funds will be required to hire additional staff for the upkeep of the president's household.
Did you hear that? So I'm waiting now to see if they will have a new staff. I'm waiting to see if they will pick a new set of people to see about this president. Hey, Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. When all you feel we have no money in Trinidad and Tobago, we have money to allocate for nonsense. We have money to pick and choose where we put in it. And we have these kind of people running the government, running Trinidad and Tobago. So when you hear you can't get your back pay and you can't get your grants and them, ask yourself where the money going. We are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, I will hear next back canal now with Young, 2-day crime symposium, and the cost of what? Over $3 million after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtalk Credit Union information stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtalk Group of Companies building at number 14 Caroni Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also stay connected with us via Facebook. Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. All I feel that is a bacchanal and money spending their wasteless. All you hear nothing yet. $3.4 million, according to the Energy Minister and the Ministry in the Office of the Prime Minister, Stuart Young, have stated that the original cost of the 2-day CARICOM Crime Symposium hosted by the country, given by the Prime Minister, did not include the associated expense of the symposium. So hear this. On April 26, in the House of Representatives, Dr. Rowley filed a question from opposition, including the cost of the 2-day conference held at the Hyatt Regency in Port of Spain. At that time, he said the cost was only $1.5 million and not $15 million suggested by Naparima MP Rodney Charles. I'll listen to this.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm very happy for the opportunity to respond to this particular member on this particular matter, because I saw this member at a press conference of the opposition telling the country as usual, mischief and misinformation, that this symposium cost $15 million. Madam Speaker, that is not true, and the member must withdraw from doing that. Madam Speaker, the estimate for that conference is $1.5 million. The member removed the dot and told a press conference in this country, as if he knows something about it, that we had a $15 million press symposium at the Hyatt. The member should get up and apologize now for spreading misinformation and for lying to the public.
So Trinidad and Tobago, during the Standard Finance Committee on Friday, Young said an extra $1.8 million was part of other expense that supported the conference, which was not previously calculated. Let me tell you something. I think there's some Trini language. It was not calculated. Not calculated, you know. Calculated. $1.8 million extra. And what was the benefit of that conference? He stated that the total cost estimated at this stage for the symposium was $3.4 million. Recap, watch me, Trinidad and Tobago, the corporation can't get allocation to buy material to patch up the blasted road in Trinidad and Tobago, but they allocate an extra $1.8 million for some high khaki suit man to come and sit down in front of television and face people and tell us we had to ban an assault rifle that is already damn hell banded in Trinidad and Tobago. But you know what? We dumb them in Trinidad and Tobago. We okay with that. We okay with that. $3.4 million to put some man in khaki suit to sit down and tell we about our country and what we need to do. Really? Really? That goes to show that the head of the Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago is worth nothing. That goes to show our Minister of National Security is worth nothing. But a pint of beer rum. Sap your knee with it and sap your head when you get a headache. Saieed, you're bashing them, or shut them out and open your ears and listen to what I have to tell you. It will benefit you. So here it is. These are the costs. For dinner, $60,000. An event planner, you know how much an event planner got? $140,000. Photography and video editing, $200,000. Set designing. Hey, again? Set designing banners, etc. How much I get? $800,000. Meals for the secretary, $50,000. And contingency amount of $300,000, which may or may not have been used among others expense listed by the minister. I'll listen to Trinidad and Tobago.
The question that was asked with respect to the cost of the symposium is $1.5 million. There is also a breakdown of approximately an additional $1.8 million for associated expenses that were support expenses for the symposium that did not fall in the category of the symposium. So the total cost estimated at this stage is $3.4 million. The 1.5 is the direct cost for the symposium. These other costs, for example, are invitations, $5,000, dinner, $60,000, team uniforms, $25,000, an event planner, $140,000, display of NGOs, $50,000, website content development, $100,000, social media monitoring, $100,000, photography and video editing, $200,000, set design, banners, signage, etc., $800,000, meals for the secretariat, $50,000, coordinator for the national secretariat, $30,000, and a contingency of $300,000 that may or may not have been used.
Hey, hear this now. Ban your belt. Ban your damn belly. Because when tea and tech price goes up, and WASA goes up, and digital goes up, and flow goes up, I will hear you guys singing, great, great is the leaders of our country. Speaker Bridget Anderson George noted a call by MP Rodney Charles that she recused herself from chairing the Standing Finance Committee of the House of Representatives after the committee briefly touched on expenditure for the Paria Commission of Inquiry. Charles made his claim before the committee approved a supplement of $125+ million to the office of the Prime Minister on Friday. He claimed that Anderson George may have conflict of interest as the committee discussed fees to be paid to the Paria Commissioner of Inquiry. Charles cited a parliamentarian produced which stated that if a member of a committee has an interest which is affected by a particular inquiry, should stand aside from the committee's proceeding related to due. Anderson George replied, point noted, and she continued to chair the meeting when she's supposed to what? Step aside. Listen to this video.
So what's your objection to the question?
I'm suggesting that there's a conflict of interest here, and and in terms of the fact that we are dealing with an issue in which, Madam Chair, you are conflicted, and I'm dealing with the UK Parliament House of Commons Staff Handbook, avoidance of conflict of interest, upholding the Code, Robert's Rule of Order, Parliamentary Procedure, Erskine May's Treatise on the Law, Privileges, Proceedings and Usage of Parliament, 25th edition, and it says, and I quote, where a member of a committee, particularly the chair, has an interest which is directly affected by a particular inquiry, or considers that a personal interest may reflect upon the work of the committee or its subsequent record, they should stand aside from the committee proceedings related to it. So I'm just raising a question of ethics and proprietary at this point.
Point noted.
Point noted. But did she recuse herself? So we go on to Young. Young added that a sum of $9 million, including in the supplementation figure for the Office of the Prime Minister, has been set aside to deal with payments and fees to the Paria COE. Listen to this.
Madam Chair, I will now proceed to answer.
Just 1 minute. Is it that the member of Point of Peer wants to withdraw his question?
No.
Please answer, Minister.
But, Madam Chair, it would be remiss of me not to place on the record the irony and hypocrisy we just heard from the member for Naparima. So I place that squarely there, and now I'll proceed to answer the question asked by Point of Peer. I'm sure he can't spell ethics. So with respect to the $9 million, that is the projected amount of money that has been put aside. Cabinet is yet to approve the final invoices of the commissioners and the council to the commission, and that is where the majority of the expenses will be. So as soon as that is done, that could be provided.
Hey, Young, how did it spell ethics? I can't remember. How to spell ethics? I can't remember how to spell it. Where it started with an E-T? He said another sum of $44 million within the supplementation was to deal with other cabinet-appointed bodies that had fallen under the office of the Prime Minister. All listen to this again.
Member for Couva South, you would see that the sub-item, the line item, is expenses of cabinet-appointed bodies. The original allocation in total for that for fiscal 2023 was $35 million, and there's now a specific increase of $9 million. That $9 million is for the Pariah Commission of Inquiry. The $44 million, which was previously $35, is for all expenses of cabinet-appointed bodies. There's another Commission of Inquiry, and coming out of cabinet, you have a number of cabinet-appointed bodies that sum of money is set aside for. So it is not for the Pariah, the Commission of Inquiry into the fatalities at the facilities to deal with the LMCS divers.
Trinidad and Tobago. He said another $44 million within the supplementation was to deal with other cabinet-appointed bodies. You know how much they spend? Young added that the sum of $9 million, including the supplementation figures for the Office of the Prime Minister, has been set aside to deal with payments of the fees to where? The Pariah Commissioner of Inquiries. How much did they spend? $9 million. Am I wrong? You look it up for yourself. The 2023 budget of $57.6 million has been increased to $3.8 billion for 22 ministries, which will bring the 2023 budget figure up to just over $61 billion. How many government ministries is functioning presently in the PNM administration? 41 MPs, over $61 billion. And Saieed mustn't say nothing. Saieed mustn't educate you. $9 million on the Pariah Commission of Inquiries. And anybody in Trinidad knew how much money was spent? Well, just to clear the air, it's $9 million. Before we close tonight, 17 attorneys received Silk Award from the President. And I most believe her husband and son were in it also. So look at them. President now sworn in. Husband and son got Silk. Allegedly, husband and son got Silk Award. Imagine that, Trinidad and Tobago, so we want to give them a round of applause. Good thing Christine get presidency, you know. Good thing. So I want him to come out now and tell us if it's $200,000 a month for phone bill or is it $200,000 for 12 months? And we would like to know how much persons is the $200,000 covering. But you could come out and let the public know that? But I ain't hearing you. I ain't hearing you, but so viewers, you've been viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali, the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago, where we deal with what? The issues at hand that is affecting us, and money spending like if what? If it floating up in the sea just so. So remember, Real Talk Credit Union, it's 4% on fixed deposit. Come in, set up an account with us today. Just flash the number, the phone number on screen. Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something. Support a credit union in Trinidad and Tobago and support a Real Talk that is actually standing up for you, the citizen of Trinidad. Remember, this is the only program in our country that brings the truth to you with facts and figures behind it. And I do thank you for calling in every night for your views and your comments. Until we meet again, there's a rerun of this program tomorrow from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And if God spare my life, I'll be right back here on Tuesday. For what? Tune It Up Tuesday. Good night.